Hi, this is Mike Power with Silver Range Resources, and here's a quick look at our Gold Point project. As always, first a quick word from our lawyers. Gold Point's located about halfway between Reno and Las Vegas in southwest Nevada. It's about midway betwixt Beatty and Goldfield, readily accessible by paved road. It's to the south and east of the town of Gold Point, and there are utilities readily available at the project site. Gold and silver were discovered at Gold Point in 1868, and miner production, largely of silver, began about 1882. The area got a real boost in 1908 when horn silver, that's chlorargyrite or silver chloride, was found at Gold Point following significant discoveries of silver at Tonopah and gold at Goldfield. A small town was built, about 500 people, and many of the buildings still stand to this day. As the miners followed the ore to depth, they found that gold began to predominate over silver, so the town was renamed from Horn Silver to Gold Point. Intermittent gold mining in the district ran from 1908 to 1943. The last significant operation in the district shut down in 1962 when the nearby mill at Silver Peak closed and there was nowhere to send the feed. Since the 1980s, there's been limited exploration in the district by a number of operators, but they've been hindered by the difficulty in assembling a ground position covering the whole area and exploring the district as a whole. To see why there's so much gold at Gold Point, let's turn to the geology. Gold Point's located in the prolific Walker Lane, home to many of the highest grade and richest deposits in Nevada, including the Comstock, Tonopah, Goldfield, and the center of a lot of activity right now. Gold Point, however, is unusual in that the deposits there are distal from the major volcanic centers. If we zoom into the Gold Point area, we see that Gold Point is located on the north flank of a plunging anticline. The rocks on this side of the anticline generally strike more or less sort of west-northwest, east-southeast, and they dip off to the north. The core of the anticline, shown here in pink, is the Sylvania Pluton. This is Jurassic granodiorite, and there are roof pendants of much older rock, the oldest of which is the Wyman Formation, shown here in gray, and the overlying Reed Dolomite. And these are the host rocks for the mineralization of the Gold Point area. So if we zoom into the immediate area of Gold Point, which is here, you see that the area is underlain predominantly by roof pendant rocks. Wyman Formation, these are the oldest Cambrian, Precambrian rocks, and overlying carbonates. The Sylvania Pluton is down to the south. All of these rocks generally strike more or less northwest and dip off to the northeast. Cutting these rocks are a series of veins that are hosted in structures. The structures are slightly oblique to the strike of the formations. They run more or less west-northwest, east-northeast. There are two major vein systems in the Gold Point area. There have been about 15 veins that have produced, but the two largest ones are the Western and the Orleans or Townsite vein. Now, for about a century, miners worked on these two vein systems thinking that they may join out here, and there might be some really rich ground in this covered interval here. And we see this as the major exploration fairway in the Gold Point area. There are more than 14,000 feet of underground workings at Gold Point, and this plot shows the principal developments. Production was from the Townsite, Dunphy, and Western shafts. The Deekman shaft was largely exploration, but there was also some production. And you can see here at the Dunphy how miners followed the ore chutes off to the east, down dip in the plane of the vein, down to a depth of over 1,000 feet. The Lucky Boy and Horn Silver America shafts are primarily exploration shafts. Would you like a quick tour? We can do that. Let's fly down the Townsite Orleans vein system from west to east. The Townsite, in the distance the Dunphy, and the removed Orleans shaft are all inclined shafts, sunk following the vein down to the left or northeast. In the distance beyond the Dunphy shaft, you'll see a little brown hill with a building on top of it. That's the inferred intersection of the Townsite Orleans vein system and the Great Western Grand Central vein system. The Deekman shaft was sunk at this location, but unfortunately no intersection was found. If we swing around the Diekman shaft and head off to the west-southwest, in the distance you'll see the Great Western Mine. There's tailings on the left. Miners followed the Great Western vein down to considerable depth, but they passed through the ore chute. On their way, however, they found some pretty rich stopes up to 40 feet wide. Heading back to the Diekman shaft and off to the east, you'll see the Lucky Boy shaft in the distance. This is an exploration shaft sunk to a depth of 120 feet on some high-grade gold float. Unfortunately, it never hit bottom. About a mile to the east is the Horn Silver America shaft. We've sampled up to 13-gram material from the vein in the shaft. We're now flying back towards Gold Point, and you can see in the distance the Great Western Mine and the Dunphy and Townside shafts. We believe this area you're looking at here has great potential to host additional gold resources at Gold Point. The high-grade gold found at Gold Point is mesothermal or intrusion related. The gold occurs in quartz veins with hematite and limonite after weathered sulfides. These are fault-controlled veins, and more than 15 have been found and explored underground to some extent in the Gold Point area. You're looking at the most significant producers here. The major veins rake to the east, and the controlling structures are up to 13 meters wide and have been traced to depths of up to 300 meters. The persistence at depth isn't surprising. Mesothermal veins commonly persist to great depths. Think of Timmins or Yellowknife or perhaps the Juneau Gold Belt. The veins at Gold Point are high grade. In the 1930s, miners selectively worked material averaging 29 grams per ton at a cutoff of about 10 grams per ton. Estimated production in the Gold Point district to date is about 74,000 gold equivalent ounces. Mineralization at Gold Point is analogous to that found at the Mineral Bridge Mine about 50 kilometers to the northwest. It's in the same rock formation, the Wyman Formation, intrusion related, also associated with a Jurassic intrusion, and also fault-controlled mesothermal or intrusion-related style gold. Production to date at Mineral Ridge is almost 700,000 ounces. There's another deposit nearby, the Weepaw deposit, which is also analogous to the mineralization found at Gold Point. So there's potential to find significant gold resources in the setting we see at Gold Point. The key to unlocking value at Gold Point has been our association with Nevada Rand. This is a family-owned underground mining contracting firm, well experienced in all aspects of narrow vein, high grade underground mining operations. They've done everything from development through sampling, through rehabilitation, and conducted high grading operations on veins throughout Nevada. The key man is Ben Viljun. Over a 40-year career, he's done everything from face miners through mine superintendent, been a mine inspector, and knows every aspect of the business. Nevada Rand has assembled the key ground at Gold Point, covering the mineralization on the town site, Orleans, and Great Western veins. Almost as importantly, they've assembled an extensive data archive covering virtually all the operations that have been conducted in the area. This will prove invaluable in proving up new resources at Gold Point. We've assembled a land package consisting of claims owned severally by Silver Range and Nevada Rand, and by buffer claims owned jointly by both companies. We've been aggressively marketing the property, and we recently optioned it to GGL Resources. Exploration is now underway. Silver Range has completed grid installation and soil sampling is underway. Next month, we intend to complete a horizontal loop EM and total magnetic field survey over the exploration fairway. GGL tells us they plan a LiDAR survey over the whole district to tie everything together, and they've begun compiling the extensive underground database collected by Nevada Rand. Their intention is to construct an accurate geologic model to guide further exploration. That'd be followed by underground rehabilitation and sampling, perhaps a very cost-effective way of proving up new resources at Gold Point. Finally, they tell us they plan on drilling. So that's it. We're expecting big things from Gold Point, so stay tuned.